goes a sight for my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. There goes a sight for my soul. I think a fall angel just walked by. I think a fall angel just walked by. I think a fall angel.
Do it. Eat a Tide Pod.
Welcome back. The engine's out. Look at it. And it's for sale, so if you want it, you're in the Midwest area, so Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Nebraska, come pick it up. It works. You've seen videos of it. So anyways, I'm going to be talking about the prices of the 2ZZ swap. Technically just for me because I had a special case since I had a Celica that I bought completely. And I have this 2ZZ on there. I was pretty lucky. I got that for $500. But I am subtracting that from the final amount because I actually sold $500 out of that car. So I broke even with the 2ZZ. And that will probably happen to you, but this is just my build. For the first part is the 2ZZ itself, what we spent on building the engine. And that was $1,200. Actually, that was $1,363.76, and that was the ARP head studs, the main bolts, OEM, the racing rod bearings, the main bearings also, that was $35, the OEM head gasket. You don't need a performance head gasket, the OEM one is perfect. The mallet pistons was a big part. I spent $600 on the mallet pistons, and they're definitely worth it. I bought an Oem oil pump. You always want to change that when you're rebuilding a 2ZZ, especially at the mileage that one was. I bought ARP rod bolts, and I bought a couple of other things. So a QRP water pump. The water pump is something to replace once the engine's out. Other thing that I bought was the sensor, the VVL sensor. So that's pretty much it for the 2ZZ, and then a bunch of gaskets. That was like $200. So the other part that was really expensive for my build is because since this thing is turbo, I need a turbo manifold, and that was $300. Gaskets and some cooling caps. I bought the Gates belt from Monkey Wrench. That's pretty much it for the engine. I had everything else. I either took it from this engine, which was the power steering pulley thing. So this is a very big issue with 2ZZ blocks, well 2ZZ cams.
Bring it over.
These lifters actually wear out a lot, and as you can see right there, it was pretty worn. I actually got them really cheap on eBay for $90 for the 4. Even though I do love Monkey Wrench. Even if I do love Monkey Wrench, their shit is really expensive, especially OEM replacement stuff. So I actually recommend going on eBay and finding some of this stuff. The other thing is the dreaded issue of wiped cam lobes on the 2ZZ, and this one is not as bad as the Lotus Elise guys. I don't know why the Lotus Elise has this issue, not the Celica, but you can see right there, I can run my fingernail and it's pretty messed up. So that's something that I had to replace, and it wasn't pretty expensive. It was $75. Definitely something I could, you can do once the engine's out. You can do it while the engine's in. I actually had to retighten my ARP head bolts. I did that at 350 miles, and yeah, one of them was off. That's one of the things that you probably want to do if you're rebuilding a 2ZZ. If you're just swapping it, you don't have to worry about it, especially if it's a low mileage engine. The next thing I had to buy was the Power FC. I obviously couldn't use the 1ZZ ECU, so what I did, I sold that one for, I believe it was $700, and I bought a new one for $900, so I only spent technically $200. The one issue though is that the commander that I got, and this is what you got to worry about when you're buying used stuff, is that it was not the correct commander for the 2ZZ, so now I have a Power FC commander from a MR2 second gen, and not a 2ZZ, so some of the stuff that you gotta watch out for. The next thing that I spent, and that's something that shouldn't have happened, I broke my turbo. I know, it was an eBay turbo, and it didn't break because it was an eBay turbo, is because I installed it backwards.
The other half is behind you in that box.
Yeah, I'll show you what happened. This is the old turbo, and yeah, I did break it, but it wasn't because of my of it being an eBay turbo, but it's because I put it on backwards. Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah. Oh, I want to interrupt your video.
That's okay. Anyways, so this turbo I broke. I had to spend another $145 for this thing. So that's something I could have used for intercooler piping, which I haven't bought yet. Yeah, these are little issues that you will have to deal with. You know, sometimes you are gonna mess a couple of things up. That's just, you know, part of the process, especially since this was my first engine that I built from the ground up. And what's the issue with this is that when I put it on backwards, the hey, what's up? So what happened is right here I was trying to fix the problem the wrong way. I was trying to shave off as much material as possible because it was hitting the block. The actual turbo was hitting part of the block, and when I was tightening down the exhaust manifold, it actually shifted. Well, it didn't shift, it actually bent the shaft of the turbo, causing a small tolerance change. And sometimes when you rotate this, it snags on itself.
You can see it.
Yeah,
You
like
do that up here.
yeah, right there, it snags right there. So I broke the turbo. It wasn't because it was an eBay turbo, it's because I'm an idiot. Oh, the exhaust system. Since the turbo now is the other way, I had to make a new exhaust system that was around $100. That's the new exhaust, so it just goes around instead of the other way. I don't know if you've watched our old videos, but it used to go the other way because the turbo was rotated differently. But now since it's the compressor housing is on the right side, so the passenger side, now it has to wrap around and dump out onto the left side. So it just made a loop. What else did I spend money on? Oh, so I bought the Lotus cover. That wasn't necessary, but it looks really cool. And people ask me if it's a Lotus engine, and I tell them, no.
Why bother?
It's a Toyota engine.
Lotus doesn't make engines
Yeah,
anymore
Lotus
because
makes
they
cars.
sucked.
Yes, they make amazing chassis, don't get me wrong, but their engines suck. So I didn't buy the VVL kit. I got lucky that I had a harness. I just took that apart and paid $0. I just wired it in. I didn't buy the the adapter for the ECU. I did not buy that $350 one. That is, and Belir, again, I freaking love your service. I love everything about you, but goddamn, that's expensive. I'm not gonna pay $345 for putting in 3 wires, another ground, and taking literally 10 wires. All the immobilizer wires for the MR2, they just have to go. You just have to unplug them. You don't have to do anything with them. Look up the diagram and take your time. It's super easy and you're saving yourself almost $400. So that came out to around $2,900.
Can't see it. Can't see it. Oh well, we'll give up trying.
What? Well, $2,900. I know it's probably a little more than that, or maybe even less. I just know it's around $3,000. And
That's a pretty good
to me,
swap.
yeah, that is a really, really cheap swap to a lot of people. But I know I could have saved up a lot more. Like the turbo I could have saved. I could have, you know, not broken that sensor. I could have, you know, done a lot of things way better and way more efficient. I could have honestly done this with only $2,500 if I did more research and found more used parts, because they work perfect. I put a rod backwards in the engine when we were assembling the short block. And the only reason why I found out is because I started rotating the rotating assembly, and it was like super tough. It would take my whole weight to push that thing down. I'm surprised the bearing was still okay. I checked the tolerance for. Those are the things that I fucked up and I could have saved money from. I could have honestly saved up to $300 on this if I didn't mess some of that stuff, but it's just part of the game. And then there's some of that stuff that you have to do, like coolant, oil, spark plugs, all that stuff you have to buy brand new. Don't even think about using like tap water to fill your coolant like Blaine wants to do with the truck. Oil, obviously braking oil, you want to use motor oil, non-synthetic, for that braking process. I don't know how you guys do. I don't give a crap. I just know that I like doing it with the standard motor oil. Then change to 5W30. Then change to 5W40 for turbo application. I spent around $3,000. That will be pretty much it for this video. Next time you see us, we might have other stuff to do. Maybe the truck. I don't know.
Heck yeah, truck stuff.
So,
I thought we were classy.
oh yeah. The fuck out of here with that case. Oh, and if you have a case swap, go kill yourself. I'm not gonna.
I like how that 900 horsepower guy would just come in here and kick your teeth in
I know.
for saying that.
Okay, no. If you have a case swap, I respect you, but I still don't like that you did that
I
to
respect
us.
you if you're over your amount of horsepower.
Yeah, I am deeply saddened that you chose a case swap on an MR2. Alright, so for everybody out there, you know that I am a purist. Toyota purist especially. Please, don't ever case swap your car. Just get a 2ZZ, please. $3,000 for my build. If you get it used, it's great. If you don't, it's definitely gonna be way more. Difficulty, The building part was difficult. Putting the engine in was super easy. You really don't have to worry about it, especially if you're doing it at home with basic tools. You might need a couple of other things. You'll definitely figure it out if you're smart enough. So that's pretty much it. We'll see you next time.